Hello, guys, and welcome back to episode 6
Yes.
of the Mr. Arthur podcast show, where I've got my mum with me once again. Welcome back, Carol.
I can't look at him because when I look at him, I put him off.
No,
Hi,
you don't
everybody
know.
else.
She don't put me off. This always happens.
You see, you always say that. Check everyone at the podcast. This always happens. I just look. I've got a straight face. Look at that, you see. I'm not giving you no side eye.
In today's episode, we'll be delving into business and family successes, from how we work with each other and how we navigate around business. So that's the main aim of today's show, is talking about our experiences and can families actually really work together within the business space. And I know that we've got a lot of experiences based around how we've done business together over the years. So I wanted to speak to you. To me, you're a successful businesswoman. That's the way that I see you as. You've always been. And even down to my grandparents as well, them being business people, granddad having one of the first black-owned pubs within Birmingham. There's a lot of history there. Yeah. And I really wanted to dissect into that a little bit more from your experiences and what you were exposed to back in when did granddad open up? Back in the 80s? Or
I don't
70s?
know, it was just a long time.
But what did you see and how were you exposed to seeing business growing up around granddad?
Oh, I always wanted to be on the road with granddad. He always had this, I think it's a man thing, our daily routine. He'll come on from his daily job, have his little wash, have something to eat, and I can always time it by sort of 8:30, 9 o'clock. Dad was off again for a couple of hours, and it was always sort of community work as well. When I say community work, I mean he used to work with the young ones, trying to put them in little projects like building or sewing, singing, dancing, things like that. So they had a communityness about him and the way he worked. But yeah, it was always putting something on. Advertise. I noticed there was always sort of posters in the house for certain parties and dances. So you have to call him a promoter as well. He was a promoter in his own right. And a lot of the young men who are sort of grandfathers now remembers him. And I always said, if I have £1 for every time someone asks for my parents, I'd be a rich woman. I wouldn't need to sit here with Stephen. Anyway.
You're out of what? You're so shady. This is supposed to be a serious...
It is serious.
Guys, this topic was supposed to be a very serious topic about family business. And we are serious about our business to a certain extent, but Mum's not being serious.
I am.
Okay then. So with regards to the dynamic between grandma and granddad and the way that they've worked in business, because they're husband and wife, how was that dynamic? How have you seen that dynamic?
From my perspective, Dad always wanted to do something for himself. I more heard it from Mum. I'm not saying Mum didn't want to do something for herself. I think when she came to England, her first port of call was London. And she says, for a little while, she worked in a pub in London. Don't ask me where or what. To be truthful, I never really questioned it. She always said she did a little job in London and she did a little bit of bar work. And that was it. And I think she did kind of prompt it to Dad, if we have a business, let's run a little pub and see how that goes on, family orientated. And the minute Dad was given sort of voluntary redundancy, my dad jumped at it. And from there, that's where he more or less started.
More or less thrived.
Yeah, within sort of the pub world then.
Okay, then I think that's interesting. How did that impact the way that you saw business by witnessing grandma and granddad doing business?
Well, from Mum and Dad's point of view, how I saw them, by this, it's not that I wasn't into it. It was I saw it as their thing at the time. Mum was still working. Dad, by now, as I've said, he took on his what do you call it? Voluntary payout or whatever. They sourced one of the pubs and they got it. Me, when they showed it, when they says, "Oh, come and have a look at it," because they got the pub with their cousin. The two of them ran the pub, but obviously, Mum and Dad took over the main pub, and my cousins later on, as they developed, got another what you call it, a social club, and my uncle and aunt went to that.
Okay.
Yeah, but we're still in the context of the family business. When they showed me, I was disgusted. I'll tell you the truth. I didn't like it. For me, growing up as a small child, the first time I went into a pub, it just looked dark, smoky and dusty, like basically decent people shouldn't go in. That's how I saw that type of business. And that was from a young age, because I knew no better, yeah? But seeing my parents at the pub, working it every day, to the point that it was more, I was more watching mum for some reason. I don't know why. I was more for my mother, because she was from work to home to make sure that we were all right. Left from there to come back to work at the pub, and then start the whole ritual of work, coming home. It was a lot. So what I did, because I was sort of the age of working, even though I was in and out of the country, I was all over the place at that time. Living my life. Before kids, before you. She needed help. That's what I saw in my eyes. And I thought, well, the way I worked, I had enough time to sort of jump on board. Either I helped her in the kitchen, or sometimes I helped pull a few pints. And they showed me, because I was there, innit? And I picked it up and I liked it. And what I liked mainly about it was the social aspect. Yeah. And I found mum and dad worked well with that. They knew their roles. But to be truthful, mum was the head of the business, technically. She was operations in making sure that everything worked. And I don't think she realised this. You know, some people will say, oh, you know, you're just a housewife, or you this and that. If they was to put a title on that, they could not pay you for that shit. Grandma was militant. Yeah. The way that she ran the pub as well. And that's something that I saw a lot of. Yeah. She handled the day-to-day aspects of running the pub, and the bar itself. Anything that needed buying, sorting out, organising, you go to mum. Sorry, dad was the cash cow. The banker granddad. Yeah, but he was also like the accountant for the business. He made sure things was in order. He did all the stock, the buying of the stock. Mum used to always warn him when she gave him money to go and get the stock. Don't buy nothing else. Stick to the list. Because my dad will see something and go, oh yes, this could work, and he'll just purchase stuff. So the next question I wanted to ask you was collaboration. And it's often said that, like in the black community especially, that, oh, we can't work together, we can't collaborate together in certain things. Has there been like a moment that you've witnessed where, you know, we've worked in sync, or granddad or even you have worked with another person and it's worked out very well? Up to a point, but most of my sort of working experience, when it come to the main part of the business, was always family orientated. It's always been internal. Yeah, it's always been internal up until when we started to do the carnivals and the small festivals. Yes, dad was behind it, you know, coordinating everything else, and I'll be there running around like the blower supply to make sure to aid what he wanted to be done. I feel like the carnival's actually a really good example of the way that we built and we collaborated together. Yeah. So if anybody doesn't know, we used to do Birmingham Carnival, and then we did Simmer Down down in Handsworth Park, and we used to have one of the biggest beer tents. Yeah. So would serve the main one. But the preparation behind that and the organisation was intense, and we had Tracy was Auntie Tracy as well. Yeah. She's a part of the operations and like gelling things together. But it was a collective team effort where we saw people that weren't even a part of our family, external people come through, and we did business all together. So it wasn't an headache. It wasn't a headache because everyone knew what they needed to do. You had people on the food. We had people on slush machines. You had people selling clothes outside of our marquee. You had the sound man. We had the drinks, the servers. We catered for the kids, balloons, slushies, all sorts. And you know, it was like a mini, what you call it, a mini carnival within our marquee. So yeah, it was a carnival within a carnival. Yeah. So why do you think the collaboration with other outside black businesses worked so well with us? Like, what do you think the core reason was? Because a lot of people we had a mini blueprint. Yeah. So if someone was to come today to me and says, all right, I'm going to have a stall or whatever, I can tell you exactly what you need, what paperwork you might need to get, whether it's outdated, you know, I can find out the information, and you've got it, and you're good to go. And to be truthful, most of these places, as long as you've got your liabilities and your licenses in order, everything else should fall in place.
All right then.
Yeah.
I'm going to go deeper as well.
Ooh.
What do you think our family unique selling point is in order for us to collaborate very effectively with other people? What do you think?
Besides our likability. We're cute. No, you know something? I just think we're just ourselves. I don't think we come across as being better than anyone. And we just get on with it. It needs to be done, we do it.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything, me personally, I would say I don't think there's anything special. I just think we're in a position doing a job that we enjoy, and we can extend it.
Yeah.
You know, and by extending it, like they say, tree branches, you know what I mean? We're not afraid to sort of give advice and help somebody else out.
Yeah.
And I think that's the problem with some of our business colleagues. They keep information. You can't keep information. You don't grow or go anywhere.
So do you think that might be like a really big issue, is like withholding information that could help other people to grow?
Yeah, but
or
why are you
afraid of
holding the
competition?
certain information? What is that going to do for you in the long run?
It's not going to do nothing for you in the long run.
You don't grow by it. No one's learning by it. And it's like money, gimme. But after a while, all that gimme's got to stop somewhere. You've got to put out to receive.
How do you think other businesses, other friends or family can work together effectively to create business? Because we always hear that, we need to work together in better ways, and it happens here all the time. And I just feel like people don't exactly know how to work together properly or effectively. What advice would you bring if you've got any? I know it's a big one, but I know that you've had experiences before. Yeah,
because I've worked with a lot of people outside of the family. Yes, it's gone on, but it's also, people always need that one driving force, that one positive person. Yes, we've got to do this. And people like order, regardless of what we say. They like order. They like to know what they're doing. They like to be told, we're doing X, Y, and Z, 1, 2, 3. They're all right with that.
Do you think it's like confidence in somebody to lead them? Because
also,
a lot of people, they have like really good ideas, good aspects, but when it comes to, some people would rather be led in certain aspects if they don't feel like they can do it themselves.
And some can lead but don't know how to lead with others.
Ooh.
You hear me?
Yeah.
They've got the know-how, they've got the intellect, they've got the qualification, they've got the confidence, but they do not know how to work with other people. They do not know how to speak to other people.
I think this like kind of goes back to the last episode that I did with Akila. I don't think you haven't seen that one yet. And we're talking about communication, emotional intelligence, and just speaking on a level. And that's something that I've clocked with certain people. You can know somebody from day dot, but if you don't understand them in a different way, where okay, then I know that they're a good communicator. I know that they have special skills in this and that. The whole project could really get mashed up. Yeah. Because like they don't have those critical skills that are required to like build you to the next level. And it's not that it's difficult, and they're also people's perception as well. You know what I mean? And people go off on titles. Yeah. You know what I mean? And sometimes that is the killer to some businesses. Yeah, that title thing, like me run something. Yeah, you run your own. Your own. No, there's no high in owning, no T in T. It's got to be a team effort, regardless of what. No one can run a business by themselves solely. And if you're running a business that you want to be successful in, you've got to share information. You've got to be a fair person in what you do. It's there's no hide and seek, or you hear people when you want to move quietly and to be successful. That's all right, but who's enjoying your success? How can you really be happy? It's no use me being a millionaire and keeping it to myself. Oh, won't tell nobody. What's the fun in that? It don't make sense. It don't make sense. It really doesn't. And business is a bit like that. And these are the types of things that I've witnessed about, like, just dealing with certain people before in business. I mean, I don't cut you. I don't want people to think when I say not to keep. You shouldn't keep information to yourself. There's certain information. If you're thriving and you want to
move to your next step. Yes, certain things you've got to keep to yourself until you get it sorted. But in general, come on, we should all be sharing information with our colleagues.
Exactly. Because sharing information is education. And if you're
And
not sharing
growth.
it is growth. It's an element of growth. And once that gets disregarded, people go into themselves. They're not going to be trustworthy into, like, let me work with you and see what's happening or see what I want.
And that's it. And it's a trust thing as well.
It's definitely a trust thing. But I also feel like there's an element of greed.
That too.
And that was something that I did want to touch upon as well.
Boy.
Like, have you worked with greedy people?
Yes.
And what is your reaction behind greedy people, and like how you've worked with them?
The funny thing is, they don't see it as greed. Some of them don't see it as greed.
What do they see it as?
Oh, I'm just getting theirs.
Getting theirs.
All right. When I say it like that, how can I break it down? All right. I use the pub life because that's what I'm proficient in. Yeah.
Yeah.
And to be truthful, it applies to most things. All right, I could say I have 2 rooms. One room is my everyday room. The other room I could use for somebody else. They might say, oh, things not so bright with me, but could I sell a few drinks? You're in that room. I'm giving you the opportunity. Remember, I'm not charging you for that room because that's the way you just make money, but you're still not going to earn anything more than me. But some people will say to me, well, can't you shut off your section early? I've given you your room, mate. Do your thing. Why am I shutting off my business when I'm giving you my room? Or I'll give them a listing and say, these are the certain drinks you can bring onto my premises to use at that particular time. And they want to outsell what I've got. And then you wonder why your customers are leaving your party or little venue to come to my little section to enjoy themselves. You can't price war out people when it comes to it's greed. It's like a scraping thing, as we call it. They just want to scrape as much as they can, but there's no giving. And that's the part for me. Whatever business you do, there must be an element of giving. You know what I mean? You have to. Yeah, you have to.
I think that's what's worked very well with, from what I've witnessed with seeing grandma and granddad function, is the fact that I see. Like, the pub is actually a really good pinnacle of being fair, and you have to share. You've got no choice. With that, there comes repeat clientele due to respect of sharing and being fair
and how
being
you're being dealt with,
and how you're being dealt with. So everything has a 360 moment where not only are you benefiting the community, but the community is benefiting you back again.
Exactly.
And that's something that I've been looking heavily into. Because
what did we used to always have when we give back to the community? Then what we used to call it?
I don't know.
It's not complimentary. This won't come back to it.
But yeah, I think there's elements of that that's very important, is the fact that there's a lot of businesses, and I think on like a retrospective level now.
Because we do get all sorts of business. We've had lawyers events back in the day, barristers doing their thing. We have had church leaders come and do their things, and people say, oh, the church, hello, God turn water into wine. You never say nothing drunk and stupid panic. But, so, everybody's got to mix. At some point, everyone
you understand
does. What I'm saying? Because people think, oh, this person shouldn't do that because it's a pub and also the Lord and blah, 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 blah. Come on.
So the next conversation is like kind of I don't think we've dealt on it, but the bad side of working with probably family and friends in business. Yeah, the bad side. Like, what other things that I know? Do we really want to go there?
No, because I don't want to give certain people leverage in that respect. But I will talk about it if it comes to that.
Are you sure?
Look like anybody can, but no.
Sorry.
All right. I'm just asking.
Let's get into it then.
All right,
so certain if we've got certain family members and you've worked with them for a long time, there's certain things that are going out of pocket. How does that make you feel? And like, especially knowing that the family, but also you're part of a business with that member. Like, how
I
do you...
am sure a lot of people in business with family know and understand this. We're human at the end of the day. And some people are going to be popular.
You don't have to be PC. You can
No.
put some
Yeah,
BC if you want.
No, but I'm going to be decent in this
Okay,
respect, yeah? You have so... Then we'll say, then we work, you know. But there's always an ulterior motive. As I says, a lot of people like titles. They like to be, oh, I am the manager. I am the director. I am this, I am that. I hone. You can own as much as you want, but if people don't like you, they don't see that. They don't see what qualities you've got. They don't see what you can offer. And when you're greedy like that, you cloud, all your judgments is clouded. Because you then become, that individual then, you have to say they become a what do you call it?
A narcissist.
They're a narcissist. They are. You know, they don't see nothing else. It's just me, I, and that is it. You know what I mean? And sometimes you want to kick them down too. But you know something? Listen, leave them to God. And they favor buck up them foot or go on with something. I mean, just sit down there, yeah, you get where you forget.
Okay.
It is difficult. It's not nice. And it does leave a bitter taste within the family, and it does split families. I know that for a fact. You know, it's really not nice.
Nobody wins when the family feuds.
No, it doesn't, because if you've got a well-established business or an up-and-coming business, and then one member of the family or two of them decide, you know, this is the direction they want to take it, that's all right, but there's no if there's no communication, and we know communication is key. Not all the time we get it right, but we can talk about it.
It's true.
It's when the other party don't want to talk about it, go off by themselves and do whatever they want to do and think they're going to get away with it, and it turns balls up in their face.
It's true.
My feet humble pie.
I think there's a lot of lessons that I've learned through, like, the family business.
You will have falls, we know that.
But lessons are just very core.
Yeah.
Like, okay, then if I am going to do something with friends or family, a contract or an agreement has to be in place on where I stand.
That part has taught us that.
And what they can actually do to contribute to the said business as well. Because it's like, at the end of the day, everybody has their own speciality in what they can bring and
what
implement,
they can bring.
and that needs to be explicitly outlined, like
That
whether
is,
you're a friend or you could be the closest person on closest
and
person
I think that's where the clouded judgment comes in. You know, you want to be in this, yes, I can invest this and that, and then you sit back thinking you're going to get this whole heap of money, or you're going to get this whole heap of gratification.
Understand that work goes into it.
You have to put work into it. One man cannot just steer the ship alone. Them need them backups. You know, no, but regardless what, you need your backups. And if you're ignoring them, you're disrespecting them, or you're thief from them, what kind of help do you think you're going to get?
And
you're going to be forced out.
This is where I'm starting to feel like we're getting into the inner core of not only just working as family and friends culture, like in general, but also like black culture in the way that we do business internally, and just understanding that there's a few things that I've learned and lessons that I've learned just watching and just observing, where you just do. And the idea it's natural. The idea is I want people to go. I don't want people to be discouraged with collaborating with family or friends. That's the last thing, because you could have a house on fire. I've had a really good business relationship with my best friend. So there is something there. But it's very important that you establish who you'd like to work with and what they can actually bring to the table. So be very selective with friends and family that you would actually like to do work with, and make sure you've got an agreement so you know where you stand and you know where they stand. I've got another business with one of my good friends of mine, and the first thing I said is, if I'm going to go into business with you, let's have a contract drawn up so at least you know what you're getting and there's no deviation. This is it. I'll always be transparent with you. If it's good or bad, just be honest and truthful, and they'll be even more willing to be a part of what you're doing, and, you know, be even more willing of building something because you're being transparent with them. Even if they don't understand,
and that's the problem.
And
some people want to be in business, and, you know, we don't like paper. We don't like paperwork.
That too.
We like to pass the book. I get it on a regular basis. Oh, someone's got a business, they want to do X, Y, and Z. Yeah, that's good. and you need certain paperwork, so on to your paperwork. They're looking to you to fill out their paperwork and stuff like that. How are you going to learn and progress?
You've got to do
You've got to do it,
things.
even if it's once, twice for yourself. Because then you'll have that level of understanding and you'll kind of understand what other business people are telling you without thinking, well, it don't go like this, or it go like this way because somebody else has told you. And that's the part that frustrates me. Not frustrates.
You can say if you want.
No.
Okay, then, Mum, thank you so much for taking the time. We're done, Mum.
That's all we have no more. I can't slander some of them.
No, you can't slander anybody.
Some of them.
But I just...
No.
I feel like these are the types of talks that I do want to have. And having those talks with you, because you've been in it, you've had the opportunity to work with so many different people. You've done business with a lot of people from different backgrounds. If you get what I mean. From the hood right up, like for real.
And we're not talking about no little small fries. We're going in
big fish. So to see how you've navigated around that, to see like what you, grandma and granddad, and the rest of the family have done to maintain that, I think it's quite evident that black households, black families can actually work together and collaborate and do things. It just takes a matter of trust and having a good plan of execution and just seeing it through. If it works, amazing. If it doesn't work, you can try it again.
Try it again, yeah.
But
that is the thing.
As long as there's honesty, if it don't work, don't just say no, it didn't work for me and just stop. You've got to keep going.
It's like medicine, you know what you like it sweet or you like it sour or you like it bitter. One of them must suit you. And if it bitter, you know, say not touch that again, though.
Exactly.
Simple.
Exactly. And Mom, I think you're kind of low-key trending on Instagram. Yeah.
Trending where? Who me a trend with?
Me?
You're not a trendsetter.
Yeah.
Give me a trendsetter, please.
No. You are.
Asha?
You are.
What you say? Can you not say nothing wrong you?
But
who else me like out there?
Look, Mom, you're married.
That no say.
It says everything.
I can look, I can full up my hand, I'm not doing nothing. We all know.
One man.
Yeah, one man to me thing, yes, but me can't look.
Why do you do this?
It's legal.
This is supposed to be a professional podcast.
Yeah, but I'm professional.
Guys,
we all have smutty minds. I do. Mr. Robinson, you know your wife.
Dad, collect your wife.
I'm not going. I stay in here until Usher sending care for me. Yeah, I'm going to send care for me.
I'm doing your fur coat.
You lie?
No, I am. I've spoken to Carlos already. The fur coat
Carlos,
is pending.
I saw Carlos on Saturday.
No,
all right.
No.
Business. Let's talk business with Steve.
No.
I saw my friend Carlos, and I warned him.
No.
I said, if he get involved, I'm going to kick him down.
What?
Yeah. I said, do not get involved, Carlos.
Look,
Steven's
what about business and collaboration? I'm collaborating with a business.
Yeah, try shut me up. That's all you do. Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you for being a part of today's podcast.
Not a problem.
As usual. When you coming back on again?
People him still don't pay me.
I'm gonna pay her, right? I'll pay you already.
With what?
With things.
What things?
Okay, then thank you for joining Mr. Arthur's podcast today. It was nice having you watch the show with me and my mom.
Why you giving me that look?
Because it's always...
You're always giving me that look like I'm going to do you something. I'm not... Yeah, all right, sorry. That sort of... what you call it when you're growing up, when you go back? What you call that?
Benjamin Button.
We not about no button. Button in my life. What you call it sitting there? Are you regress?
Regress?
Or you... When you go backwards, what you call it? Yeah,
regression. What we're regressing
Did
about?
I scar you when you was younger?
No, you just made me laugh.
Yeah, but you always do a little flinch.
She did hold my neck. She's like, she did a lot of that. Sorry, Mum. Like, I don't do that to my mum, but she used to do it to me.
Then almost a boy picking me up, you know, sometimes you can't manage it. You have to grab them in and them. You see how I did that? I got him. Okay.
You know what, we should jump back to the last podcast.
Which one?
Gina was asking what naughty things did Stephen do when he was a kid.
What naughty things did I used to do when I was a kid? I don't think
You
we
know
should
something?
speak about this.
It weren't really the same. Was naughty. It was a little bit mischievous, and he had that. You know, when a child is naughty, but them have that expression like it wasn't me. But you can either see it over them face, or him drop something or something not quite right. It was one of them, and you notice when he's going out, watch when he's putting on his shoes. Him always a croops in him shoes, innit? Yeah.
Enough said. Thank you
Oh, you're
guys.
shutting me up now?
Yes, it's gotta stop.
No.
It's gotta stop.
No. What them say? May I speak up for my rights?
What right? Nah, no more rights.
Stephen will not shut me up.
Thank you guys for the third time for being a part of today's podcast.
Thank you guys for being a part of my podcast. Please subscribe to Mr. Arthur, because that's the only way you're gonna get to me. Yeah? And when I set up my horn, you will know about it. And you, bye.
Take care. Why do you keep doing this?
It's you.
Auntie Tracy.
I've got more than one sister, you know.
I know you're gonna see Auntie Tina. No, you're not seeing Tina. You're gonna see Tracy.
Tina's coming down.
And Tina's coming down. So you're gallivanting somewhere?
No, we're going to the. I'm going to my establishment.
Okay, then I'll see you later.
Yes, you can come.
It's Friday night at the
I'll,
same time. We're all going out. And Tracy's coming.
I shall see. Oh gosh, she should have been here. Like
She coward.
You know, nobody know my business.
You understand what I say? Keeping information to yourself. You're up there, you know, I put you out there.
you see, I did invite you, Auntie Tracy.
We're filming. I said what I said, and I said it. When I like beat me up, you see? Still love you, my sister.
Okay, then these questions.
Alright then, if the Arthur family was a cocktail, what would it be? Sweet and smooth like a pina colada, or strong and unpredictable like a Long Island iced tea?
Strong and unpredictable, me personally.
Yes, but we don't know about Long Island, because we never really drink it up. Cookie night, innit?
I think
But yeah,
we'll have something with Cavassier in it, and Red Bull, and Bel Air. Look at Bob's face. Cavassier, Red Bull mixed with Bel Air, and a Magnum for the young'uns.
Or Laurent Perrier. That's
Or Laurent Perrier
special.
Rosé.
Yeah.
Laurent
So, you
Perrier
know,
Rosé. That's the proper one. It doesn't cut.
Nah.
It's a nice drink. It's smooth. Yeah, Laurent Perrier.
Anybody wanting to give?
Laurent
My
Perrier.
little Tibble.
What's the other question?
Okay, if the Arthur family was a TV show, right, I'm going to switch this one up. Like the Kardashians,
Oh,
which
gosh.
one of the Arthur sisters would be Kim?
Who would be Kim?
Well, it wouldn't be me. Because Kim boring. And I'd probably be the daddy. may have more flavor.
No way.
Which would be Kim. It wouldn't be Tracy. Tracy's too on top. It might be Tina. Tina could move the role.
She could be a cute Kim.
Yeah.
And then you've got Kris Jenner hair, but red.
Christian, I'm and I'm mama.
The mom.
Then the daddy no name Crystal.
I don't know what the dad's
I
name.
don't know, I'm just saying.
Bruce.
No, but don't, because you only gonna get me out.
Okay then.
Get me
Oh
out.
shoot. Oh okay then. So you know that Bruce transitioned.
Yeah, we know that.
He transitioned and
Oh, ugly woman.
No.
Everybody, him cute. Him not. Tough and cranny.
You know we got Woman of the Year.
why would you? No, don't rile her up.
How can you get woman of the year? Let me go.
You got Woman of the Year award.
And him have him tackle and him a woman. You see, them kind of shagris then, I don't get it. Why them couldn't just say gender of the year, sitting like I say? Why them have to come in after will business? Can't take on sometime, you know, not enough. I say what I can. Some of them too enough. What?
Continue as we continue.
Well, they can't beat me. I'm not being horrible.
What do you mean?
I'm just saying. I'm not being horrible.
Okay then.
That's my views. And nobody take it upon ourselves no more. Yeah, and shit. This, that. Maybe give it to some no one else say.
So you've worked in the family business and you've had all your children work for you. When have you ever wanted to fire your children?
Every day. Bar one.
Which one?
No, because they were fighting.
No. No comment.
You know something? Everyone's had their place and they've done their thing. And I must admit, now if I need something doing within my business, any of them could jump and do it. Even though then, because I don't like it, I don't listen. But they can also go out and see things that need to be done within certain establishments, which is good.
Yeah,
So
it's pretty
you
easy
can
for me
see
to
it,
go into
yeah.
a bar and just do it like without thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
I know how to change the pumps. I know how to do the stock take. I know how to do rotations.
Mm-hmm.
I know how to speak to the customers. I know how to handle the tills. I know how to do the floats.
And you can clean as well.
And I can clean in between.
Which is all part of it. And
It's-
call the ambulance if we need.
And call the ambulance. I know when it's gonna kick off. Like, okay, this is some serious
It's rare.
shit.
And you know something? We don't really call ambulance for fights. It's either somebody has a funny turn, not being drunk or anything.
And it's usually an elderly drunk person.
Yeah.
That usually gets the ambulance. Like they've drank too much.
Or they're using their mobile too fast.
Yeah, the more.
Me tell you, so one day we used to have this. God, this one in dead now. He had the scooter thing. Or we allowed him to come in the pub with it. When he started, he was quite tender with it, you know, gentle, take him time. Yo, after a while, my man was driving like Schumacher going through the pub. This one day, he spun out of the pub that quick. Everybody was shouting, you know, be careful because what did my man do? Drive straight into the bus. From the pub sidewalk into the bus. He was this much for the wheel to crush him. And he did have long hair. So the wheel of the bus was on his head. That was the only thing pinning that man down. God knows how he didn't die. It wasn't his time that day. And he sold that bloody mobile scooter the same day. He got rid of it.
Whoa.
So you see, I know the young people them all the time. You see them all folk there. Yo, I'm not out there, you know. Don't have no behavior.
What's next?
Okay, so you've worked with your children and many family members.
Sorry?
You worked with your children and many family members. How do you keep it cool and not sack them on the spot?
Tell them bad word. I don't have to physically touch them, but it de-stresses me and them understand, because when it comes out and I've got my serious face on, it's either they look, I think I got to leave, you know, and it's like, my head is like, You know, you just do what you need to do, Babs. Always works. I don't want to give them, leave what you call it? When them
Trauma.
I don't want to traumatize them for when them do them own job.
I've already got it.
Well, you're not weak. If you was weak, you wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be doing this podcast, son. Would we?
What do you call it? Stockholm syndrome?
Whatever.
What's the weirdest thing a customer or a client has ever said to you while you were working together?
No.
Which one you going for?
I'm not going for any of them because all of them are just rude.
They are rude. The sweetest one, again, come back to Jenna. It was you. He came and visit me some weeks ago, and there's this chap. He comes in. I don't know if I'm a chap or anyway. He comes in. It was decent this time, because the last time he came on, he had Batty Rider shorts in, going on the most and saying that people wanted to attack him. Nobody wanted to attack him. It was him being naughty. Knew exactly what he was doing, and giving us the model catwalk and saying that people hates him. Am me singing?
It's your
Oh,
phone.
it's
Do you
my
put it
time.
on silent?
No, leave it till there. It'll stop. Or dash
just-
it in the kitchen or somewhere. Oh, this is the kitchen.
Could somebody like? Okay, but
You see, you're taking my time up. You're gonna have to pay me. Yeah. So anyway, I was speaking to Stephen. I don't know what we're talking about, and he came over and he told me hi, and I says hi. How are you? And then suddenly he says, you know, people don't like me, but I'm a transgender. And I'm like, really? He don't know Stephen, and then he's saying in the same place, I'm going to have my operation. Don't tell anybody. By the time he turned my head, he might tell somebody. So we get weird things. Well, I shouldn't say weird. He felt comfortable enough to say it in front of us. So when I say people tell us anything and everything, we know personal lives, We know what go on in a bedroom from what not go on. We know whether them big, them small, whether they can walk in.
Information that I don't really want to know
that you
about.
don't really want to know, but they tell you.
But they tell you. They really do.
They tell you what medications they're on. They're telling them tell you everything. So it's just about, you know, it's not something you really go out and splurt or whatever. They just want somebody to sort of sound off, and usually we're there.
People just want somebody to speak to.
I don't know if my face just say, you know, talk to me. But if they really didn't know me, I go on within my head like, move from here, so. They wouldn't come to me sometime.
Wow. I think that is it then for today's questions.
Just make me look good and I'm fine.
You look good already.
One last thing. What's your proudest moment of your family doing business in the pubs?
When we do the carnivals, when people doubted us, you know, oh, that's too much money to spend, oh, you can't do this or you can't do that. And then we've done it, and then we've successfully had it on 3 other businesses to be part of it as well, and giving them the blueprint and says, work from this, but do your thing and you'll be all right. And it's worked.
Yeah, I think that it shows
it's
teamwork.
Like, yeah, it shows teamwork. And it's like, it's not upset helping people up, or I don't see it like that. I'm just thinking, yeah, you can make money too. You can, as them say, you can eat off
and
food.
they've got the talent.
Yeah, they've got the talent. But sometimes there's no one sort of in their corner rooting them.
Yeah, to
they
push
only
them.
need a little encouragement.
That's it.
That's it. I like to see people win. Or even when we can't turn them. Yeah, I like to see people win.
Same.
Yeah. Don't make sense to have bad mind and carry it. No.
There's no point. Like,
no need. Because you've got to come across people on a day-to-day who's going to need your services for whatever reason. So it don't make no sense for you to keep up and hacked up and go on with themselves.
Wow.
I finished now?
Yes.
All right,
for the
bye-bye.
5th time. Thank you. Toodaloo. Thank you very much, guys, for tuning in with this episode.
This was a mojito. What you call it, mojito? Mojito. It's nice, but it's sour. Oh, no, can drink them something.
Are you serious?
And sugar and water and lime and alcohol.
I did a little segment just to do all of this for you.
For me?
This was for you. I was setting it up for you.
Oh, thank you, son. It was beautiful.
No, it wasn't.
It done.
Goodbye. Okay, then we're off now. We're out. Like, comment, and subscribe. Mum, love you as usual.
Carol, my name's Carol without any E.
Stay
Carol
tuned for Carol's Corner.
You know what? That is definitely X-rated. Son, thank you.
All right then.
All right, I'm off.
All right.
My next appointment.